All right. These are instructions for the graphic organizer that is required. You will be researching one ancient Mesopotamian god or goddess using online and book resources provided by LMS. For this project, you will be tracking down specific pieces of information about your god or goddess, creating a project detailing your findings, and accurately citing your sources in MLA format. Your project will be a Google slideshow. Before you begin your final project, you must complete a graphic organizer, which will count as a classwork grade. The final project rubric can be found at the very bottom of this Google Doc. Alright, so these are some websites you can use, you don't have to use. And the book source is on Google Classroom. You don't need to find another book, but it's okay if you do. So this is a graphic organizer. It's 1 through 10. So you do all the research in the graphic organizer first. Then you put it in your project. 1, 2. So what does your deity do in their daily life? How does that impact their lives? How would you describe your deity physically so you can get a picture or draw a picture? Images that you have, you just need the websites, interesting information. Bibliography needs to be alphabetical by last name. You can use the template in the box here. You don't have to use these super big ones that were very unpopular in class, I remember, so you can just type it directly in there. You don't have to use these like little templates. That's just optional. Okay, so these templates are optional, not required. Alright, so the very bottom has the rubric. So I'm not going to read this right here. You should read through this to make sure that you're going to get full credit. Okay? So it's here. It's also on Google Classroom, and I'll show you that in a second. Google Classroom. Okay, this is going to look different because it's not posted yet. This is where all the project stuff is. Okay, all in this week is just devoted to the project. There's a rubric. Okay, look through that. There's an exemplar and your actual project is in there. Okay, so this is the exemplar. I use a Greco-Egyptian god so that people didn't have that, that slight urge to copy my information, which that definitely would never happen. Okay, so I have the role in daily life, physical description in a picture, cult center. So where was the most important place for them to worship the god or goddess? Interesting facts. Notice that there's more than 2 there. There are a lot. A story, very brief story. Your story can be a short story, or you can have extra information about your god or goddess. Online resources, book source. This is a different thing, so I didn't use the same book, obviously. You need to use a book source, okay? This is what your project template looks like. Change it however you want, but I gave you all the different topics in here. Make sure you have pictures. Bibliography needs to be filled in correctly with MLA format. If you go into themes, you can change what it looks like visually. Okay, it doesn't have to be in the visual style that I chose. I just wanted to make it look different than the exemplar, so it wasn't confusing.